Good morning. My name's Tom, and this is our weekly political video. Uh, it's really hard getting back into the just once a week mentality, especially this week, because there's been a lot of shenanigans. But life is easier when you don't uh, immerse yourself in that level of negativity. So I'll start with the Supreme Court decision regarding firearms, and it was no decision or no change to any past decisions. Basically, they chose not to hear a case that is supposed to restore firearms possession to dangerous persons. Now, dangerous persons is a standard created by our founding fathers, so their intent was clear, though they did not define what is a dangerous person. And typically, we use things that are objective, which is in line with the current Supreme Court, meaning we know there's a correlation between addiction and domestic violence and firearms. Like, there is documented, undeniable statistical evidence that you are more likely to be involved in a violent firearms related crime if you have issues like that. Another Supreme Court decision is the presidential immunity question. Well, the president's a king, apparently. I would like to point out that all of the protections people wanted to give to Trump, they just gave Biden. And no, he's not going to take advantage of it like that, I don't believe. I shouldn't make blanket statements, but I don't believe he would do that. I do believe Trump would take advantage of it. Let's see, Rudy Giuliani has been disbarred for introducing for introducing dozens of lawsuits regarding the last presidential election, because he made claims in court that could not be substantiated because he had absolutely no evidence to suggest that the election was stolen. None whatsoever. There was no evidence, period. And, that's worth mentioning. Along with that, it's worth noting that Trump lost 3 of his last 4 elections. He won the electoral vote once. He lost the popular vote twice, and the electoral vote he lost once. So he lost 3 out of 4. I wasn't too concerned about that, but then the debate happened. Now, I gave my initial response, and wow, people were crazy about it. There was a lot of rationalization and normalization for one side, and demonization for the other. One of my favorite statements was, we can't have a president who's cognitively impaired, despite the fact that this is an election between grandpa with dementia and fascist grandpa with dementia. Biden, when he's not 100%, he could be pretty bad. Meanwhile, we have been inundated over the years with streams of Trump saying all manner of craziness. Lately, it's involved things like Hannibal Lecter, electric boats, and sharks. One of my favorites was these magnets that stop working when you get them wet. The thing is, Trump's behavior has been normalized by his base and by his supporters up on Capitol Hill. So we know that nothing is going to change there. It'll be fine. I'm sure that's fine. However, when it comes to Biden, well, the rank and file voter have been recognizing this and has been concerned about it. The Democratic Party leaders, the people in office, we'll call them inner party, they've been steadily ignoring it and rationalizing it, normalizing it. And now it just spilled out so blatantly obvious. They are having a hard time because the baseline voters of the Democratic Party have spent years pointing it out, and now they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, and they're not sure what their chances are of winning. Uh, so yeah, there's been a lot of rationalization, normalization, projection. That's a big one. Fascist grandpa with dementia is claiming, the country's on, the election's been stolen, the country has been stolen, it's gone downhill. And this is why it's normal. Like, maybe we need a dictator. And even his baseline supporters are saying that now, which is nice that they're finally 100% open about being fascist now. It's just interesting how that dynamic works. Now, I've spent all week not discussing politics, but I have been discussing um, with references like let's see, the Addiction in the Workplace, a handbook for supervisors from the Office of Personnel Management, which they made in conjunction with the Department of Health and Human Services, which goes over normalization, rationalization, and projection. And, I did throw in manipulation in there, which is not covered in that handbook. But I don't want to hand out sources that are a bit too clinical in nature. So, yeah, we'll stick with the handbook for supervisors now. Addiction in the Workplace Handbook for Supervisors. And you can see examples of what that looks like. And just understand that when somebody has these issues, they have these defense mechanisms. And there are people who know how and will deliberately trigger those defense mechanisms to get what they want out of a person with these issues. And when they are doing that deliberately, that's an information operation. It's not just manipulation, it is an information operation. And you need to understand that and learn how to recognize it for what it is.